Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Squam, 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 squam. Your grinder is pretty, right? This is the grinder that Christian gave me. Weirdly enough, it's so crazy that you mention indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Sorry, I'm having a conversation with Shan on the other side. We're streaming on two platforms, some of you friends know. And she's like, I think your grinder is pretty. I had a dream last night that it got broken. Uh, I was like at some sort of resort or like, yeah, resort. You know, there were like a bunch of rooms. And then the room that I was living in, for some reason, was like really up the hill. And I could remember that it was like hard for me to climb up it. And I was kind of complaining. And I was like literally having to like drag myself forward. Sometimes I would turn around and walk backwards because that would be easier. And then I see my grinder completely mangled on the ground. Looked like a bunch of people rode over it with their cars and stuff. And it's like broken. Like broken. And my heart breaks because this was a gift from Christian. And I'm like, no, Christian will not forgive me. How could I have? And then I wake up and then I have this sense of relief washing over me that thank goodness my things are not broken. So, yeah, we're gonna do more dancing today because I had a story of separation type of day, right? And like, so I'm gonna move my body with you friends a little bit. I'm gonna keep wearing my shoes though because I still have a massive hole in my foot. Reminds me of your dream about your jaw harp. It does. I still haven't found my jaw harp, Shan. I still haven't found it. I don't know where it is. Maxine, love you. Duck Dad is here too. And Natalie joining us. So nice having you friends here. Let me see if I can get this thing to play. Please, sir, can I have some beats? There we go. That's a max volume.
You keep my heart so recklessly, yeah, it's hard to let you go. You got me, 'cause when I sleep, I hear your voice. You keep me falling so helplessly. Yeah, you just start bringing me to my knees. You will be the end of me. You're the end of me. I know. You treat my heart so recklessly. Yeah, it's hard to let you go. Nobody's gonna love me like you. Nobody's gonna love me like you do. haunted. 'Cause when I sleep, I hear your voice echoing through my dreams. You keep me falling, so everything. Yeah, you just stop bringing me to my knees. Oh, nobody knew nobody. Nobody knew nobody like you do. Nobody knew nobody. Nobody's gonna love me like you do.
We're gonna skip to the next beat line. This is taking to the next one, but it's basically the same, so I'm gonna skip to the next one. Here we go. A little bit of a build up.
Let me see you put your hands up. Let me see you put your hands up. Let me see you put your hands up. 2, 3, 4. What's the Wi-Fi? But Dad, I don't want to go to bed yet. But Dad, I don't want to go to bed yet. But Dad, I don't want to go to bed yet. But Dad, I don't want to go to bed yet. But Dad, I don't want to go to But Dad, I don't want to go to bed yet. Oh my God.
What's the Wi-Fi?
Oh my God.
1 hour set. It's not gonna stop unless we stop. Thank you, Pippi, for being a wonderful dance partner. Thank you, friends, for in your own way proving to me, really proving to me that love is true. Love is true. Love is true. If love wasn't true, there would be no you, especially not with the amount of presence that you are giving in this moment right now. Feeling. Pippi, nope, my scarf, she did. If she ruins it, I shall have to go shop. If she ruins it, I'll have to go to SA and beat Melty. Then I'll buy him a new scarf. All I'm hearing is, I'll buy you a new scarf. Oh, that's great! That sounds great, she did. Only for a split second though. I think she is learning not to hold on to it for long at least. Fortunately, I try to pay as much attention to her as I possibly can. But dancing with your eyes closed, every single thing you do adds to the input that you're getting, right? Like holding onto the scarf to keep it away from her for the last moment so I could dance without having to pay attention to her. Made me pay attention to other things. And maybe that's a good place to intro into today's topic. Proving yourself, right? We're going to talk about proving that which is already proved. Why do you feel the need to prove yourself? Here you are. Here you are. In this moment. You have already proved yourself because you exist. You are whole. You are complete. You are enough. Like, enough in a way that nothing else can ever give you. Celebrate your own existence. Instead of telling you yourself a story about how your existence should be celebrated, celebrate your own existence, right? Nobody else can celebrate your existence the way you do, can. Whew. I'm melting. Self and other. Self and other. Self. Self and other. You know what I'm doing? I'm looking at the external world and I'm saying self. And then I'm looking at myself and saying other. Instead of the other way around. Yeah, that's easy enough. As I'm saying that, I look at a half-eaten mouse. I'm not going to show you. Our cats have been on a killing spree. It's mostly Roxy. She has some sort of sick need to ceaselessly be murdering things. If it's not a cricket, it's a grasshopper. More than not, it's grasshoppers. Like, grasshoppers are probably her #1 fatality. Anything that dares to move. Today I had to take a dead snake out of the house. And now I'm looking and I'm scanning. I'm like, yeah, self. And then I see half of a dead mouse. And I'm like, yeah. I saw Ginger eating a bird as well. It was a really sobering moment of realizing that those creatures need to kill things in order to live. They're not trying to prove themselves. I don't know if Roxy is trying to prove herself a hunter. Like, that's what I'm tripping out about. Or is she just deliberately killing things because she enjoys it? Right? Because she's not eating the thing she's killing. That's the thing bothering me. Like, she didn't eat the snake. She didn't eat she killed so many geckos and little lizards. Like, the amount of dead lizards I just see laying on the ground. I'm like, bro. I'm just trying to imagine that for lizard's last moments, right? Again, from this perspective of, oh, that's self. That's me as that lizard. Dead. Because a cat just like, I was like chilling. And then this monster, exponentially larger than me, pounces me. Doesn't eat me, doesn't like just kill me straight off. Plays with me until I'm dead. And then doesn't eat me still. She enjoys her food more than she enjoys the things that she kills. And again, am I trying to prove myself? Even by talking about this? I'm trying to imagine myself in the same way with the self as the cat as well, right? Imagining what my life is like. This strip keeps coming up. Me and Christian and Johan. This is one of the core conversations we had after our last divine moment of truth experience together. And we were like basically talking about how we can do more to help the world. And what helping the world actually means. What it looks like if we're going to imagine it. And the answer comes back as love to me. Trying to keep it simple for my poor human mind to try and bring it back. Just 3 little words. But we were talking about basically comfort of living and freedom of expression. And how cats really are the ones winning. If we're going to move towards a world that is more loving, the cats pretty much already have it figured out. But they kill things. Oh, they really kill things. And they manipulate. And they play on instinctual drives. and they chill. They chill so hard. And I'm thinking to myself, what is that proving to me? Right? A part of me has like a certain level of resistance towards cats, specifically because of a weird way my mind processes information. Like toxoplasmosis very much is a thing. Like there's no denying that. And if you consider the implications thereof, that's some weird shit, right? So yeah. what point am I trying to make? Proving yourself. There is no proving yourself. Cats exist, right? Cats don't have to prove themselves. They are, and in a weird way, I feel they are beyond this world as well, in the same way we are. Spiritual beings, right? Whole ass spiritual beings. Maybe all of the animals have it more figured out, more simplistic understanding of it, because they have no need to prove themselves. I mean, I guess there is some hierarchy that still happens in the animal kingdom. So proving yourself very much is a thing. But I'm thinking about this capacity to try and prove ourselves with worldly measures, right? Oh, if I earn X amount of income a day, a month, a year, then I would have proven myself, right? Oh, if I have this title, then I would have proven myself. Oh, if people want to spend X amount of time with me, think about me X amount of time, then I've proven myself. Oh, if I'm remembered for this long, then I've proven myself. Yada, 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 yada. Different stories with the egos who convince you that you are not enough. Specifically, you are not enough to keep you believing that you're nothing, right? Because it's its job to convince you you're nothing except of the everything, right? The ego is like just this. It's just is me. It's kind of weird doing that right now. Try it. And then notice how much you can feel outside of that. How much you feel if you have a tree nearby, or looking at one of these, what it looked like to start from a little sapling. Right? You can do that. Can't be proven, right? There's no photos of that tree ever being a sapling, but you can see it in your mind's eye. You have the capacity. Let me open the chat. I want to connect with you friends. Whew, I'm feeling emotional. I don't even know if I want to share what I'm feeling emotional about. I'll just share that my family is away for the weekend. That's pretty much it. I'll also share that I only really found that out at 2 p.m. today. My mom was like sending me 2 voice notes away. I'm paraphrasing kind of disrespectfully, excuse me. Away, we're like not coming back until Sunday. Also, please feed the hedgehogs. And I'm like, oh wait. I only had this sounds like such first world problems kind of bullshit. I only had 2 eggs today. Because there was only 2 eggs. And I was like, And then I looked, and there were no more eggs. And then I got the message, we're only coming back on Sunday. And I was like, oh. Eggs. Separation, story, right? My world is going to be worse over the next weekend because I don't have eggs. I mean, I do believe in the health benefit of eggs. No, my ego is like, nah, I'm pretty much gonna die this weekend, dude. You're pretty much gonna die. No eggs. You've been eating eggs for like the last 5 years consecutively every day. You're gonna die this weekend. No, I'm not. I'm gonna be fine. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm just trying to externalize this bullshit that goes on inside of me so that I can be like, how ridiculous are you? Sit out, please. Sit down. Nanchi, sending you love, right? Thank you for joining us. Let me see who else is here that I'm missing. Lolo, Gateway Process. The music made me start my day. Get it, get it. Look, Eva. Eva. Absolutely no chill. Not every day since you're fasting, a lot recently. That's true, actually. My eating days. I always eat eggs. Just because it's like, in my mind, nature's most beautiful self encapsulated 50-50 dose of some of the most essential macronutrients. Like in my mind, it's almost like the simulacrum, right? Like a gift. It's such a gift. An egg. And then I'm imagining all of the, you know, the amount of eggs and the things that have been born out of eggs. That is in our past. Right? Again, I can't see it in front of my eyes right now, and yet it is proved. It is proved there are things breaking out of eggs right now. If we all had super hearing, we would be hearing the closest egg cracking. New little bird breaking out of it. Embracing potentially light, but like red light, right? Still with little closed little eyes. I'm listening to a bird sing right now. So many of them, actually. I still never tried ducks or goose eggs. They're so much bigger than the chickens. Really have a hard time buying them here. They just don't sell them. Something, I don't know if might be like a little bit of a sus path, but joining like some sort of local Facebook group for like people that have animals in Croatia, and then potentially you'll be able to source eggs. But that sounds like a lot of work. I know. Yeah. But that is distributed thinking. That is gonna get closer and closer the more we actually show up for that stuff. Thinking about you, Duck Dad. I wish I had super hot chilies from like a local dude like me that I would like to support. And Duck Dad pops up from the AI. What's that? I got these chilies, and I got these chilies, and I got these chilies. I can send you nuts. I can send you seeds. I can send you sauces. I can send you the whole ass fruits. I can send you the dry stuff. Hit me up. Like, yeah. Oh, okay. Oddly for me, an introvert, I like a hybrid schedule. Help my boss. Helps. My boss isn't around much. Nancy, take care of yourself. Yeah, give me them ducks. I feel like I'm kind of buried right now, and I want to be present. I love when Melty gets all melty like this. It makes my heart smile. Love you, Joe. It's nice to see your name here, friend. How are you doing? The way we know, standing straight for Siobhan, proof will find you without having to search sometimes. This is true. And I feel like the thing that I've been echoing to myself is as you seek truth, you're going to find yourself, right? Truth isn't going to be something out there in the world. It's going to be something you have here, right? That your life at the end of the day is the proof. And something I wrote in my journal today is this trip of sometimes feeling less than full or less than your best at max capacity for what you're capable of than the previous day, and then that's somehow making you less, right? That you're at a loss now because you didn't work as hard today as you did yesterday. And the way I've been trying to think about it instead is your life fills your own life. So even if you just lift your head up off of the pillow once in the morning, you would have still added energy, effort into your life, right? I would recommend you do more than just that, of course. But that is how extreme it is, at least in my mind. So recognize that you are filling the cup of your life, right? Just try to fill it with good stuff you actually enjoy eating, drinking. Melty, why are you crying? I'm just feeling Joy V. I have you hugging my neck and my body right now, and I'm like, yeah, I am comforted, hugged, protected. I think of these as like magical objects, by the way, right? That's also a part of the reason I'm unwilling to sell them. A wizard doesn't sell his most powerful magical objects, right? That would be that would be silly. That would be so silly. I believe in demons as much as the next guy, but I believe in love more. Yeah. Get cut in half. Dead. Sliced. I wish I was joking. I just pretend to be normal. Ah, yes. My collar needs to be at a certain position on my neck. Pippi, can you relax? She's like, you challenged the demons, dude. Now they're here. Now they're like, oh yeah. Hello? What's up? What's up, kitty? What are you thinking? Huh? Pippi. That's the end of the world. Oh my God. Doorbell. Segment. Skibosh. Pippi killed the chicken. Oh, the chickens are now staying to their own space. All the way that way. They're like, yeah. There we die. So how do and they're like, yeah. I don't know how they did, but they're staying to their own side of the like cow pin basically. Why are you crying? I love milk. It's melty. Melt. All you said goes to you. I know. I felt it. I felt the mirroring. And it was like getting melted. Thank you, Natalie. Our cats have been on a killing spree non-stop, and it does break my heart. Like the cat killed a little gespeckled boslang, one of those same species that I was playing with on stream, but like a significantly smaller one, like one that big. It was like a baby, like a small little danger noodle. Not even danger noodle, undanger noodle. No danger noodle. Very cute little noodle. Damn snake. Yeah. Is there anything more fun to watch than the cat jumping for a grasshopper? When my dog Tango was a puppy, he used to do the little fox hop and bounce on every grasshopper he saw. Thousands. That's so cute. It's a fractal you have. All three of our doggos walking into frame, being all majestic like, ah yes, just us dogs, living our lives, doing things, being doggos. Yeah. Hey, Yudi. How's a Yudi Doody? Hey, Yudi Doody. Yeah, it's a mustache. He's like, yeah. Again. He's just gonna walk right past me. Oh, wait, dude. I'll give Peppy some love. Okay. Duck Dad, I would love to have some conversations with him. Indeed, no. Divine moments of truth. I see. There was proof without looking today. I'm really feeling like I'm lost right now. Lost, and yet every single time I feel this way, I realize no matter how lost we get, we're only just here. Right, Natalie? Lost in the fractal, being human, making coffee, taking care of kids, making food, cleaning things. Yeah. And Kitty is like, I do none of those things. I don't do any of those things. Thank you for showing up in the world, friends. No matter what you do, you are contributing. You're making a difference. PSA, if you have an outdoor cat, refrain luring birds to your bird feeders. It's actually a big issue across the states, causing massive decreases in migrating bird populations. Cats will kill relentlessly and for funsies. Besides, kitties have a longer lifespan indoors. All of these things are true, right? Like cats are unironically doing damage to the ecosystem. At least in the wildlife ecosystem, right? And then the mirror comes back of like the cat being like, bruh, we kill a bunch of cats we kill a bunch of birds for funsies. You pump exorbitant amounts of CO2 into the air and methane. You know, get wrecked, dude. No mouse? Oh, just a little bit of water. Okay, my kitty being all kitty-like. Like this whole situation that's happening right now. If you want to mildly scar yourself, but in a nice kind of way, in like a acquired taste kind of way, go and look up KUD little dash aandacht, AANDHT or something like that. Aandacht, like attention. It is it is one of those things that I show to my friends just so that I can see, I can gauge their reaction to see what level of scar they are. This is the internet, right? Some of us could prove something to someone else, right? Like for instance, one of these things we can prove to each other as like a weird thing we had in our past is that my cousins who was 14 when I was 7 and no 8 would show me Happy Tree Friends on their 1 inch by 1 inch Nokia screens. And my 8-year-old brain just could not understand. I was seeing what I was seeing, but I could not understand why I was seeing what I was seeing. I was like, this is made for kids. Like this is made for me. But this is not made for me. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. My cousin is showing it to me, so he's definitely seen it. What is this proving to me? What is he trying to prove to me? What am I trying to prove to myself by having this conversation reflectively? maybe the whole tangents of good. Maybe it's a way of seeing things, right? It's like a perspective shift. Yeah, a perspective shift. A perspective shift gives you a certain sense of detachment, and yet still allows you to relate. Like a loophole in your own brain. All of that does sound insane though, so I'm gonna put it down. You're emotional because you get to spend the weekend alone. Are you seriously crying because you're out of eggs? I'm crying maybe more because it wasn't considered, right? Like there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with it, as there always does, which I'm not gonna give any power by talking about it. Yeah, you're like it's more it's more consideration. I'll just say it in a single word. Consideration is good. Consider people. You will benefit, they will benefit. All will benefit from that. So yeah, maybe that's the thing I'm crying about. Melt go to get dirt. We need to get Meltree some laying poultry. We have laying poultry, but I'm now realizing that I'm completely out of frame on the UNA side. I'm so sorry. A little bit better. I'm getting Fire my razor a little bit as well. I don't know. So many doggers being like, oh, give us some touches. The try dog. Oh, my cup of water, please. Thank you. They're like, away, let's go dog again. Eva is usually the leader of the crazy pack. They just like suddenly start running in a direction. Suddenly the attention is peaked. We're in the wrong direction. Do it every day since you're fasting a lot. Get some ducks, giant eggs for days, and they are adorable. I feel like the fowl, right? The burps are a little bit invasive. We have like a dog feeder that just kind of like has like a bucket and then it feeds downward, right? Infinitely. And for some reason, even like the small little burbies, they're chancing it. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna get myself some of that. That yummy, high protein, high fat, individualized, swallowable little pellets. And they really go for it. It's a little bit destructive. And I can't imagine ducks being any different. The geese was like pounding them. Oh, it was crazy. I prefer fajita to quiche. I'm on top of the crust. Food conversations. I mean, I bring up eggs, didn't I? I used to get that feeling, growling up, being left for myself in the country with just the animals. And it can get to be a lot. Why I learned to lean into internet friends. I feel you, Natalie. You're not here anymore, but I'm still feeling your words right now. But we killed the chicken. Oh, a lot of them. Not just one, unfortunately. PSA. If you ever, thank you again for sharing that. We're listening for funsies. Maybe if they grow up together, they'd be friends, though. What's coming to my mind is quality of life. I'm like straight up, my heart has been breaking for the lizards because there's a lot of them, and I've had a conversation with a few friends on stream where every single time I see a lizard chilling on the wall, I like do hand dances to them, right? And they really like lift up their heads and they point their little eyes at you, so I can feel that thing seeing me hand dancing at it, right? And I'm trying to imagine the only way I'd be able to communicate with it is probably with body language. That this entity is doing something, right? Proving to me that it's not trying to eat me because it's very much revealing itself and not approaching just from a distance. And I'm trying to imagine what these things have been thinking. And I haven't been seeing them just chilling enough to actually interact with them. And it's probably because they're hiding for their dear little lives. Because there's actual monsters now. Ginger never killed lizards. Ginger never killed, at least not that we saw, snakes. Like the cats even brought in a whole, like a Vaughn, not like a Vaughn, local commander, blue-headed lizard into the house, right? And I could hear like the scuttering, and he had like a whole tear in his side body where he was probably like bitten on the side. And then they bring him into the house where he's like confined in a room, and then they, relentlessly play with them until they die. Unfortunately, I saved this dude, and I got to put him on the, like, he was like really aggressively trying to bite me when I was trying to save him as well. So I took like a pencil and that little eraser bit. I just brought it close to his mouth so that he bit down on that. I thought that was gonna be the softest thing I can give him to bite onto. And then as he was biting onto that little eraser bit, I picked him up, took him outside, put him on the wall, and he wouldn't let go of the eraser bit. So I actually like left him there with the pencil still in his mouth, and then later picked up the pencil again, knowing that he actually hopefully got away. And then I'm tripping out, right? Do I have to love my cats less because they're killing the other creatures that I love? No, I can't do that. I wish I could discipline them though. Be like, like I can with Pippi. But the cats would be like, bro, what do you mean, I'm gonna still kill things. You can't stop me. Can't stop me. Cats. Cats. I literally have both cats and dogs altars in my home. That's altars. Like little statues, I'm thinking. Cats and dogs. So my all-time favorite things on the planet. Crazy that we have all of them here at the same time, right? Like I feel the way that your little picture came out was like really trippy to my brain. My cats are indoors. If I let them out, they would kill everything they could. Oh yes, oh yes. Like they really like killing things. I'm guessing, fortunately, we'll be able to probably make like robots. Get like robot lizards that could, go through the whole dying process. Let's not think about how we're gonna extract the data to know how lizards die. Stop thinking about it. No, stop it. Stop doing that. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Proving ourselves, right? We're not trying to repeat old mistakes. Get a lizard that mimics dying like a normal lizard. And then, after it dies to the cat, and the cat like loses interest in the dead thing, it reboots. And then it like hides. Running. You might get scared as well, but the cats will love it. And they don't have to actually murder things. We can create games for cats as well, right? Cats is probably gonna be a massive market in our future. The cats are gonna have like the cats probably already do. Hey Google, what is the market in cat and cat accessories? Nah. Hey Google, what is the market for cats and cat-like accessories? Bruh, I'm looking for numbers. Cat accessories growth market. Hey Google, what is the estimated value of the cat accessories market? Yeah. One. Excuse me? Hmm. I don't know why they do the numbers like that. Probably some brain damage. But 19,610 million. That is 19 billion, right? So that's how that's supposed to be read. Take away 3 more zeros. $19 billion estimated to grow to $32 billion. That's a lot of billion of dollars. Take this idea, friend. Become rich. I bless with you. Maybe we'll do it together. Make cat accessories that can die and respawn. You can make a bunch of different ones. Snake ones, herb ones, lizard ones. Now I'm thinking about the moral implications. You know what? We can create a feedback loop where it loves dying. It like if the cats lose interest, it will start to fuck with the cats. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now my mind is like starting to gamify it, where it's like, oh yeah, yeah. This little robot lizard be like, oh yeah, cat, you think you're gonna lose interest in me? Starts flipping it off, right? As it eats, runs up and flicks a tail or something. runs back underneath the table or something. A whole robot uprising, because you can potentially do that. Every single time it dies, it tallies, right? And the higher the tally, the more successful it is, and you can wire a success metric to its reward system, like, oh yeah, good job, good job, good job, and it's like, yeah, I want to, and that's what happens to us as well. Dad, when you're a little kid, sees your report paper, tells you bad job for whatever you got, or you get some good marks and he says good job, right? And that becomes like a feedback loop. You're like, oh goodness, my dad good job me if I do good in this paper. Brain damaged, instantly brain damaged, right? In a way that you never got brain damaged before, and yet suddenly the tyranny of numbers. Oh, you weigh X amount of kilograms? Numbers. Oh, you only have X amount in your bank account. Numbers. Oh, you only have X amount height. Numbers. Why? What are we trying to prove? What are we trying to prove with numbers? Again, nothing you can prove with numbers that is not proven by you already. You are infinitely valuable, right? And sure, you can take that how you want. You can take it as, since I'm infinitely valuable, and I'm feeling joy views in my mind here. Right? You can believe you're infinitely valuable and then decide not to contribute anything, which is still your derivative. Your life will still be worthy of being lived, even if you choose to do that. But will it be worthy of the whole? That is up for you to decide. I'd like to hope that I'm trying to encourage the latter. Is that how you use that word? Right? The way I'm using it is that the thing that I said last is the thing that I'm referring to. Because on a ladder, I start at the bottom. Right? At least that's what I'm trying to think about. Okay. You, by Natalie again, love. But cats don't kill some of those creatures. The plants on the farms would have a harder time to thrive. The plants. None of the creatures that the cats are killing are plants. Maybe some of the birds, but I don't see them killing birds as much as they kill lizards, right? And the lizards eat insects mostly. Maybe there's some sort of like I feel the plants would have a better time if there's less insects eating them. Like there's a lot of everything, right? There's bugs galore. I'm watching bugs right now. I'm hiding under this from sunlight and mosquitoes. Mm, the cats are indoors. Okay, I think I'm missing still a few. I love you, Melty. I wouldn't leave you for the weekend without eggs. Thank you, Joy V. It's so nice of you. It's really nice of you. I appreciate that. Mm. My heart is healed. My faith in humanity restored. Like I had that whole little Xbox. Faith in humanity restored. Thank you, JB. But like, I know I'm making fun of it, but I really do believe it. You friends really restore my faith in humanity. The amount of consideration, right? The amount of stuff you feel, just your willingness to listen, to try and connect. It means more than I can say. So thank you. Thank you. Just thank you. Thank you very much. Kudonda? Have I spelled it wrong? Kudonda. I don't know what word that is, unfortunately. Pet Paradise. I love you, Melty. Thank you again. Yeah, Mel. That's how a lot of the feral cat population in the US began. Long ago, before farming was industrialized. They were helpful to have around. It's just become an issue over there. Yeah. I don't know why, but like my mind just has this simulacrum of that scene from the new Puss in Boots movie where there's that cat lady that just has an absurd amount of cats in her house. Oh goodness. And I'm seeing her like throw those big bags of kibble out for them. But instead the big bag of kibble is migrating bird species. I'm sorry, Jovan. I know that's not cool. That's not cool. Ah, you catties. America is the crazy cat. Hey Google, what country has the highest cat population? Hey Google, what country has the highest cat population? Yeah, the United States of America. I knew that, but I had to confirm. I was like, don't school yourself, dude. 76 million cats in total. This doesn't account for their number of strays, which is said to be above 41 million. So more than half of the no, that's not correct. Like basically 77 million cats that are owned by people, and then 41 million that are strays. So like more than half of the owned cat population are strays, as like a metric in my brain right now. So these cats are just eating what they can find. Those poor little burpees. Just like, and you know what the worst part is? Actual tigers and lions weren't that real of a threat to them. Like they were too small to be bothered. Right? They were like, yeah, I'm not gonna waste energy trying to catch a little burb. But these cats are so small. It's like the bird's worst nightmare. Still big enough to kill them, but small enough to be agile and care. To be real though, if there was eagles, like fortunately there aren't actual big eagles or big hawks. This is like small hawks. Uh, very small. I don't know how to give you a metric of how small they are, but they're so small they don't even swoop down to catch chicken chicks. Right, very small hawks. They'll get wrecked by the chickens if they try to. But the cats would be able to get snatched up by an eagle. I don't know why I'm going through this metric. I'm like trying to imagine the cats just being like apex predators of the planet technically. I'm like this is what I'm looking at while I'm having this conversation. Like this little chica just being like, yeah, having the time of my life right now. Teleported to the dream realm. Nothing to see here. Pet paradise. I don't know how it is overseas though. Probably a different situation. Partly wild dogs, big issue too. True, and wild dogs get real interesting. I've like seen some very cool, let's call it cool behaviors that wild dog and dog packs start to exhibit. The amount of ganging up and fighting, right? Like like it's a real trip. The trying to be alpha, the territory, the trying to prove something, I guess, right? You've only been alone for a couple of hours, Melty. How are you this mentally unglued already? I'm not mentally unglued. I vaporized some THC off of plant material and then chose to inhale. And then I danced vigorously, so my heart rate was up significantly and my body was producing an exponential amount of endorphins, at least in my baseline. And then I decided to sit down, and then I got some dopamine for chilling out. And then I got to a calm place of breath, and then I started feeling a few friends. I just, I got a little bit melty. I'm back though. I'm reconsolidating. I feel a little bit more human now. At least I'm articulating proper sentences again. It's a struggle this semester, but we have one more week until break. Love you, Lane. Sending you good vibes too. I hope you're keeping up, man. It's nice to see you, dude. Cats and cat accessories. Doing all right, Lane. How about you, friend? Thank you for asking, Shan. You've only been again. Love to you. I need to come to the USA to fetch all those cats and go live with them on a private island. Private islands can be affordable. I've seen some affordable private islands. We need to like start jumping on this. I want to run a cat sanctuary in my old age. I love that. I really love that, Joy V. Now that is something to work towards. Why in your old age? Why not in 11 years? Maybe you consider 11 years from now your old age. But I can see it, Javiv, within the next 11 years, a beautiful, thoughtful, compassionate cat cemetery. That would really be something that I can see you do, actually. Are you joking though? I'm tripping out, like really rendering this fractal, imagining it with you, and I'm worried that you're like, I'm just joking or something. Dum. You'll have to beat me to it now. I want the same thing, but with buns, Joy V. You can run it together, Joy. Thank you, friends. I think I'm present. Am I? Let me check again. Yeah. How about it? Oh, proving ourselves. Yes. That has been, I think, my biggest trip as of late. Worrying that I'm gonna miss out, that I'm not doing enough, that I'm not sufficiently skilled to win the race. to do all of the cool things first. And do camera filter? Yeah. Sorry. I don't know how that happened. Maybe when I was like switching things around. No, I'm not joking at all. I want all the kitties. Now I'm more asking about the cat cemetery. I was just about to ask the same thing. Can't hug every cat drama. This is true. It's true, right? Like it's the whole humans thing for me as well. That if even if I could, even if every single person in the world was lined up for me to be able to give them a hug for 5 seconds, and there's no downtime, right? Like 5 second hug, and then as soon as they leave, the next person comes and hugs me. Excuse me for that burp. It would take me 400,000 years to hug 8 billion people. And in 400,000 years, there's going to be a lot more billions of people. So it's impossible. It's impossible for us to save everyone alone, to hug every cat, right? But it is possible for us to help the cat closest to us, if you will. That you don't have to prove yourself by saving the whole world. It's okay to just help your own. Love your animals. All right, JV, if you already have cats, you don't have to go and save all the other cats. Just love yours truly, beautifully. Make them feel seen. Can't look every cat. JV, I lived it when my parents went away and it was just me and my dog. But they didn't let me know the day of when they were gone. Maybe Mel's notification seemed like an afterthought. It did because they didn't talk to me about it once this week. Right? It didn't come up a single time. They didn't think to say that to me. That this weekend we're not gonna be here. And I was like, the more you know. The more. I'm here, Loisanna, seeing you. Thank you for joining us, friend. How are you doing? Lois, you're right on time, friend. It's nice having you friends here. The amount of sounds. You're still alive. Living, dude. Living. Alive and living. It's nice having you here, dude. How's it like being alive on your side? Has this infinity been treating you well? Has it been difficult? Has it been a process of learning? Have you remembered? Have you remembered? We're streaming every day on YouTube as well. We haven't stopped. I don't know if you come from the Arpan side. Bro, you look like a philosopher. Start to read the Bible. I probably should. That's good advice. That is actually good advice. But not as a piece of actual events partaking, or taking place, but apparently like a psychological drama, right? Insight into the human mind, into the way that we interact in this world. If you want me to read the Bible, I would suggest you go and read Neville Goddard's material, I'll just say. Or find a girlfriend. Nah, I'll probably read the Bible first. I'll probably have to read the whole ass Bible before I'll be ready to have a girlfriend, having completely been washed of all my sins or whatever. You've never read the Bible, Melody? That surprises me. Oh, I've read the Bible. I've read the Bible. At least all of the parts that I feel, come up the most. Like we had like Bible study in school, and I had to go to like kindergarten, or not kindergarten, like the Bible equivalent of morning class, on Sundays as well, and then go and sit in the church and sing, and then there was like a whole eating situation going on afterwards. Like I'm tripping out. I've read the Bible enough to realize that all of the information is trying to be shared. It's kind of well known right now, right? It's like one of those things that you can read to reaffirm patterns, to be like, this this shiznit, ah, right? Like you're watching human psychologies unfold. Do you know what is the name of the god? Depends. Depends. There's many, aren't there? Sunday school, basically. Thank you, Arizona. It's nice having you, friend. There's so many names for God, dude. Mine at least, this is the one that I've tried to embrace in myself, is infinity, right? That which is unending, a set of things that is unending. God, I feel, is so caught up in our own egos at this point. The amount of nodes I've been embracing these last couple of days. What do you call your God, friend? I like the source. The source is also a pretty good one, right? That which everything else arose from. I think of the infinity as like my interpretation of it, because I think of it as like an eye, right? Like a line. But that line is actually also a zero if you collapse it on its side. And then that zero is like the place from which to watch. And then as soon as it tries to look out, it folds onto itself again, and it makes that infinity symbol, right? And then from that awareness, a new experience arises, which creates the Trinity. And then from that Trinity, everything, right? The cycle completes, continuing. At least that's the way that I've tried to interpret it for myself. But I know nothing. Another is Jeshua. I like Jeshua. Jeshua is like a soft one to me. I mean, based on the Bible. Jeshua is one of the ones that they use. Like I don't understand where we're going with this, dude. I feel one of the messages that I try to share especially is that instead of seeking these things in the Bible, spend time with yourself, right? You'll notice all of these patterns, at least the patterns that are relevant to you, the patterns that you have been avoiding, the patterns that you have been participating in, is very much there with you. You just have to pay attention to it. My name is the God. What's that now? The source, the God. I was just in luck to never have any religious upbringings. That is some good luck, seriously. Not having the just Yahweh, Yahweh, I think is the way you say that. Hey Google, let's go. Can you give me all of the names of God? Let's go. Hey Google, can you give me all of the names of God? ChatGPT will probably be better for these things, but I don't have a hey ChatGPT just yet. I think Before's religious upbringing made me who I am. Me too, Joy V. How about that? So I'm not dissing it. I just think I would have been less burdened if I didn't have the amount of brain damage I have right now. Okay, so Yahweh is the one you said. So it says the Lord or God, Adonai, Lord God or Master, Elohim, Father God or God the Creator, Abba. This one is a nice one, like Father, no problem. Just a question. Let's go, Sergey. Let's go, God. Jehovah Jireh, meaning the Lord will provide. Jehovah Rapha, no context. Jehovah Nissi, Jehovah Salam. Yeah. Send the love, right? All of these are sounds that we have associated. Like I feel that's the way the Bible should be interpreted as well. And it kind of like saddens me that I won't be able to read the Bible. It was the way that it was intended to be read, right? Like as a pictogram, like the beat variation of the pieces collapsing into number variations, it creating like a song, almost like hidden wisdom underneath the words, right? The sounds. And then the sounds also could facilitate like a certain type of song, melodies, frequencies coming out. It's all sound, right? In the beginning there was God, and then he like spoke everything into being, right? Like, hey Google, What are the first lines of the Bible? Yeah, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form. That's the first line. Yeah, it just starts with in the beginning. Let's, you know what? I don't. Maybe that's why I hate the whole God trip, right? Because then it becomes like a whole self-referencing thing. It's like, oh yeah, God is surely not something here right now, in a beginning, not the beginning. Who's to say? Like, can I feel the whole beginning thing is also like a paradox in and of its own, right? Like, is there any such thing as a beginning at all, right? And you can be like, yeah, it was the beginning of my life, born as a baby, right? But then again, where were you before that? And we kind of like touched on this a little bit earlier with the whole tree analogy. Like this cell phone. Where was this cell phone before you had it in your hand, right? This whole thing. But that whole experience, even before it started being assembled, that thing, that existence, that process that rises up to being that cell phone, still is ongoing, right? And that goes infinitely in both directions. There's no beginning and end. There's infinity, right? What you consider the beginning is just the crossing, right? That's why the cross is significant in Christianity as well. It's a crossing point, but that crossing point alone, if you're only fascinated with the crossing point, then you are two lines that will never cross, right? Unless you're playing with some of the other geometries that fold onto itself, and maybe and maybe they can cross. And then if you do that, it will become again an infinity symbol. So I feel like the thing that we're trying to remind ourselves of is that there is light and dark in this experience, right? And there is going to be this want to try and prove ourselves as beings of light, but you already are. That it shouldn't be a longing inside of yourself to be something you're not. It should be a deep recognition that you already are. You are proved. Beautifully so. Just by hearing this moment, just by feeling anything at all. You are contributing. Your effort is not wasted. I thank my force. There are also the real names of God, which we're not allowed to know yet, though. Yeah, right. Names that tell a 1,000-year story instead of just a name that is like sound, right? Think about that. Like in ways of communicating, we can go way beyond. Do you think the Bible is the Word of God? No, I don't. I believe it is the Word of God as much as human beings are the expression of God on this planet. And through that expression of God, the Bible was written and then interpreted literally by a whole religion and distorted in a way that causes, in my mind, separation. But I believe in the same breath that you, dear Sergey, you, dear friends, all of us are no different. Are no different to those people. That you are just as much as a visionary. That you can also write things down and see them become reality, right? Doesn't make you any more special than anyone else. Just makes you just as powerful as everyone else, right? The whole, if everybody is a superhero, nobody is. All of us are superheroes already. That's why we're convinced that nobody is. We're like, yeah, everybody gonna suck. So we're just not tapping our full potential just yet. We're limited by old stories. Old stories. I'm sick of the patriarchal naming for God and source. What name do you like? One of my favorite words for God that I use more than anything, Nancy, is Mama Gaia. That is at least the God that I love, right? The feminine divine. And then my masculine divine is the part of me that witnesses, right? So it is like a love relationship that I have with my external realm. And I love it like God. I talk to my water, lovingly, to my food, lovingly before I eat it, to other people's food, lovingly before they get to eat it. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. I'm sorry, but I do anyway. I love them and I love, this world so much. We are not separate. We are not separate at all. Mama Guy is one of my favorite words for God. Oh, neat Mel. The rabbinical, rabbinical priests had serious hang-ups about pronouncing the word Yahweh. So they had all those other names instead. They were like, no, you're saying it wrong. You're blaspheming. Oh, the sounds coming out of your face is not indicative of what God is. You heathen. Use this word. It's easier. You won't fuck it up. I'm sorry. I was just imagining the pettiness, still happening because they were human beings just like us. Them birds make crazy sounds, right? I don't work. I don't suck. You suck. Just kidding. I'm pretty terrible sometimes. You're getting better, Joyviv. All of us are. All of us can suck sometimes. All of us have proven records of how we've gotten better at one thing or another, right? And if you can get better at one thing, that skill, that same tenacity is still in you to change other things as well. We have Sena here too. Meld, I say, Holy Mother Gaia. Of course you do, Nanji. Of course you do. Yeah. Like, if you join my yoga, that is like literally one of the things we thank every day. We have a wide-legged forward fold that makes me feel, it sounds weird when I say it this way, very vulnerable, right? Like I have to keep myself very mindful of my legs and also relax my whole upper body and then hang very low as like a deep bowing to Mama Gaia. And then I like reminisce. I remember that nothing is if not for her, right? If not for change, if not for the physical embodiment that we are here to experience. Sana saying, good morning, Meltmore. Been a long morning, beautiful friends. I got home safe from Ohio. Happy to hear it. I'm so tired and super jet lagged, but I'm here listening while sleeping. I'm hoping to send you into the realm beyond lovingly. I'm seeing. Okay, so a line splitting two realms. And then from this one, there is like a space almost like collapsing inwards. And then that collapsing space is catching a beam, more like a flow of energy or like water coming off from the other side that is like and then you're like, yeah, okay. That's what I saw. Thank you. Crossing over, right? Pouring your consciousness into the unconsciousness, which is just as vast as you are. So enjoy, friend. Sending you so much love. Mel, when I was about your age, my favorite novel was Reservation Blues by Sherman Alexie. He's a Native American author, and the God character in that book was called Big Mom. I still use that. That's beautiful. You want to see something crazy, Loizana? And this might be blasphemy, right? But I feel like I'm doing this partially just to show you how crazy the technology is. Might take me a second to get through all the portals. We're getting teleported to a server that has intelligence built on top of it. Or at least trying to unsuccessfully. What you say? That you only meant well. Well, of course you did. Yeah, it is not working right now. There's probably millions of people, probably hundreds of millions of people using it right now. I shouldn't be surprised. And I feel, beautifully enough, it's probably exactly the way it's supposed to be. And even though I just said that, I'm still gonna try one more time. Just because I'll let go of my tenacity once I know that my tenacity isn't the problem. I'm like, okay, I try and fail. Maybe if I try and fail again, maybe then my trying and failing will not fail. And then I try and fail again. And then I'm like, okay, I tried and failed and tried and failed. But maybe me not being willing to try and fail one more time this time will be the time that my tenacity, and then I try and fail over and 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 over, melting myself into the infinity. Doing it more, yes, more melting myself. Ah, did something change? Hello? All right. Okay, so that works. That one works. This one doesn't work. Okay, no. I'm gonna put the tenacity down and open the not caring about it anymore. I'm not sure. You made a clean escape, Sana. It's supposed to snow this weekend. It's gonna be nice, I'm sure. I'm not. After standing up from the wide-legged fold, I always get the most psychedelic experience during our yoga practices. That reverse of spinal fluid, right? And that's why I try to, from that perspective, share as much gratitude, vastness, other side of the infinity as I can. Thank you for sharing that. Say, Arena, I appreciate that. Melita, so much love. After, thank you, Jovi. I'm so happy to hear you're mad. You made it back home. Sena, I'm doing all right. My kiddo is better. I'm back to her sassy self. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you so much for letting us know, Shan. I'm happy that she's doing well. I know, right, JV? It's like the cold weather followed me. I'm like, what the fuck? I want sunshine and hot weather. The only fractal that's coming to my mind is one thing for things to be differently is how we suffer. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19. Open this in the Bible. Hey Google, can you open 1 Corinthians verse 3:19? For wisdom of this world is foolish with God. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Let's try another one. Also from the Bible, but this one is written in the Nazib. I don't know what these things mean, but that's also one of the things that I have a hard time believing about the Bible. Is the amount of interpretation, and all of our interpretation is incorrect. All of it. Because these are not the way these words were used. These sounds were supposed to sound to your ears. The meaning is lost in translation. And the translations lost the translations. And then the translations is translations. Like it's been, okay, but let's read the other one. For wisdom of this world is foolishness in the sight of God. Wisdom of this world is foolishness in the sight of God. That I can agree with. For it is written, he is the one who catches the wise by their craftiness. Is interesting line. I agree, Sergey. Because the way that I think of it is this wisdom is the want to believe that you know something, right? And then from that want to believe that you know something, a willingness to convince yourself that someone else doesn't know something. It's a belief that you know more than them because you know there's something that you consider they don't. And it causes a nice experience in you. It makes you happy sometimes to know something that other people don't. Like it stimulates a level of excitement in you. So there's an egoic want to do that. But the person that's willing to recognize that they know nothing, right? Actually, within infinity, right? Within God, your knowing is foolish, small, infinitely so. A fraction of fractions of fractions of fractions of what actually is. So I give you that, friend, completely. I never said that the Bible doesn't contain wisdom, but all people do, right? The willingness to read those words and find value out of it makes you wise. And you know that, and you like it. And then you chose to send that quote to me because you were wise. You thought you were wise, oh? right? Because that's the way we're made. And then if you believe in God, at least in this Bible God, then you were made that way. So who's the real evil one? Right? There is no separation. You're the one making this moment. You're probably not even here right now, but I'm still tripping out. Getting gebibled. I get gebibled enough, dude. You know how much I get bibled? I get bibled like once a week. My dad is like, yeah, how about you Bible yourself this way, this time? And I'm like, yeah, this part of getting Bible, I don't really like because it doesn't really make sense to me. What's the one that he sent me? I'm gonna open my chat. It was one of these lines of God won't listen to you. Like your cries fall on deaf ears because of your sins or something like that. And I was like, Dad, I'm so sorry that you feel that God isn't listening to you. Right? Like that was the last one that he sent, and he hasn't sent one since. Because sometimes we share these things. Like for instance, this wisdom one. To recognize that yes, in the scale of God, in the scale of the larger I am, the ultimate self, anything we could ever know is foolish. Absolutely. Does that make the pursuit of wisdom any less valuable to the world? Right? Being more wise can allow you to make better decisions that can help you help others. Help you help yourself, at least, right? And hopefully, in doing so, helping others along the way. That's the least we can ask, right? I feel, and this is something that I notice in my dad as well, you know, and this might be a little bit harsh, but there is a level of excusing yourself within the Bible because you are forgiven. Like God is already personified, and you can't be that person. Right? That just that just feels like an illusion. It feels like an illusion. Another one of those things that we tell ourselves to convince ourselves of our egos, to convince ourselves that we're less than the everything that we're aware of. I thank you for stimulating all of these thoughts in me, though. You're a part of that self as well, after all. Talking to myself, technically. Trying to make myself understand what I've come to the conclusion of, right? What am I trying to prove? I ask myself, having this conversation with myself. What am I trying to prove? Well, you've said these things a million times, so you understand exactly what you're talking about. You can just be quiet. Translations, lost the translations. Very much true, yeah. Like the writing it down literally from one iteration to the next made mistakes. Imagine a bunch of dudes sitting down, copying a book, having a bunch of pieces of it. Like books was very much stacks of paper for the longest time. Binding books together is very much a recent thing. Just like, just the amount of books that got cut as well. Like tons of books, so much wisdom. The Gnostics are crying, oh, we did so much work for nothing. Trying to prove something, trying to prove how clever they are. So smart. The character was Big Mom. I still use that. I like that one again. Nanchi's a heartbreaker. Think I missed a few. Happy or sassy self. Someone. Nanchi's a heartbreaker, but beautiful storytelling. Of course, Sana, I'm glad both of you are doing better with positive thoughts and vibes. Thank you for that. The whole concept of controlling others with the ideas of sin, shame, eternal damnation in a pit of fire just enrages me, and it's personal. Yeah, me too. Me too. Like that's my exact same response, right? And I've gone through the logic of it for myself because I'm like, okay, so let's establish things. I believe my God is love. And they're like, yeah, I believe my God is love as well. I'm like, okay, we agree on this. And then I'm like, okay, so continuing on that, do you believe our God, this God of love, loved us enough to create us? Right? I'm like, yeah, because we are here. It is proof. Here we are. And then I'm like, okay, so then you believe that if you don't live in a very specific way, this God that lovingly created us will damn you for eternity for fucking up a human lifetime in the scale of eternity, right? I think of it like the thinnest of layers within the infinite layers and 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 layers. And then this God that claims to love you and breathes life into you, I believe is the experiencer experiencing with you, right? And there's no experience without the loving experience of God. That love is true inside of all of us because here we are experiencing after all. Will it damn you to eternity in hell so that you can suffer as that experiencer forever. And I'm like, it doesn't compute in my brain. Like, how did we get from our God is love to this contrived monstrosity of understanding? Hey, Patrick Simmons and Distance. Love to you, friend. Sorry for missing you if I did. Sending you love. My mom thought I would burn in hell because I have friends who are gay. Fortunately, my parents don't believe that. I also have friends that are gay, but they're just like away. Good for you, I guess, or something. We have family that's gay, fortunately, as well. So I think it's, in a weird way, been a little bit normalized. There's a bird that just landed on. I missed it. And as soon as it landed, Kitty laserized onto it. I was scared for its life for a second. Yeah, family members that are gay. So we had to, at least on some level, get past the if you're gay, you're gonna go to hell. Because even though my aunt and my one uncle is gay, they still believe in the biblical God. And I don't know if they believe in that biblical God from a show perspective, right? Because it's what is expected of them, and it's gonna make it okay. Like they'll be familiarly acceptable because they still believe in this God. That there's like something that's still resonating. Sure, you're other, you're a little bit different to me, right? Because that I think is the biggest mindfuck of people, because we want our kids to be the same way we are, right? And we want other people to be the same way we are. When other people aren't the same way we are, then they are other, and they are. Oh, I mean, I'm like this, but they're like that. Oh no! But at least they also believe in the same God that I do. So okay, so they're still like me a little bit, and then it's okay. And I love these people, right? That uncle of mine is so successful. He's having the time of his life. Like he just lives this. He's so beautiful. I'm like, I've never like really looked at someone like that, like one of my family members at least, and been like, I want to be more like him than all of these other stick up their ass people. What the hell? Burning can just jump. Burning can just jump to you, cause you know, gay people. What does your hat work? Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know, gay people. Yeah, straight to hell. Straight to. Alright. What? I helped them. I clothed them. I fed them like you said I should in the Bible. Yeah, but they were gay, dude. They like other dudes. What's wrong with you? You fed gay people? Yeah, go to hell. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's in the rules. Look, here it is. No feeding gay people. What can I say? Oh, no getting into heaven for you. Can you believe that? No, please. You see, I do exactly what I just did with people that tell me these things, and they don't appreciate it. because I try to really externalize these things. I'm like, this is the fractal that I'm seeing right now. Do you agree? Do you agree? Bro? Does it make sense to you? Gobbity Goose here saying, my mom forced me to get baptized. The pastor refused because in the testimony that I wrote, I said I have to be baptized so my mom doesn't take my Nintendo away. Gang. Gang. I don't know why. That's a yikes to you, Novasana. I don't know why, but like my pride in Gav went up like sixfold right now. Like it's like Gav is like this magnificent god in my mind, right? But I'm imagining Gav becoming this god through hard work and effort. Meanwhile, I don't know how old you were, but I'm imagining like an 8-year-old Gav, already god. Oh, it's like, yeah, I'm just doing this because my mom wants to take away my Nintendo if I don't. Like, come on, I'm signing the papers. Here I am signing papers. Let's get this shit over. That's so hilarious. That's my favorite. I can see it, dude. I was thinking about my PSP today, weirdly enough. My kid self getting a PSP for I think my 11th Christmas. It was a momentous moment. I couldn't believe it. I played so much Ratchet and Clank. I'm ashamed to say I never actually finished the game. Ratchet and Clank was a hard game, yo. I got grilled. I got so wrecked. So what happened? Did your mom find another pastor, or did you stand your ground? Also, why didn't she proofread the testimony? She just handed it to him. Because they didn't care either, Gab. It is all semantics. Skibbity bobbity. Oh, look at us. Oh, look. At least that's the way I see it. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. But I see it as a deep need to try and fit in. Unfortunately, I have been born with enough neurodiversity to not need to, or at least not force myself to, right? And I feel all of you friends are like that. We're okay with not necessarily fitting in. Maybe we're not okay with it from the perspective of it makes us feel good, but we're okay with it enough to still be ourselves. And that is admirable, right? Maybe that in itself is enough proof. You have already proved yourself in that way. She still took my Nintendo away. Yes, say to get baptized, that's wild, right? Spanked me, i.e. beat me / child brutality, literally. Ooh, sorry, little dude. I thought you were a mosquito. Look at this. Can you see that? Has freed itself, I believe. Grounded me, made me rewrite the testimony. Basically, I just wrote what she told me. Didn't feel an ounce of it to be true. Yeah, and then inadvertently also facilitated this traumatic moment for you, right? This is the kind of stuff that I mean, Jovi. That sure, that experience made Gab who he is right now. It doesn't take away from the amount of that experience and that belief system and the semantics that goes along with the belief system generates in you. And I saw this trippy rendition of the baptizing, right? Like it's supposed to be a symbol of getting rebirthed, right? But and I also one of those movies that I don't know if I recommend you watch because it is a little bit much. It's a movie called The Dark Song. And there's this scene, and this is again a little bit of a spoiler if you're gonna watch it, but you'll still enjoy it. There's this scene where a part of the rituals that they have to undergo is getting baptized. So goes once, goes twice, and then the third time holds the person underneath the water until she dies, until she like actually stops moving. And then drags her out of the bathtub and then starts doing CPR. Comes back to life. And I was like, holy shit, that's what they. Is that what it's supposed to be? Is that how it's supposed to be working? And it was trippy. I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah. So one thing kids wanting to do that as your kid. Again, my mind is now like attached to a fractal. Oh man. Completed Ratchet and Clank 100%. I was so upset. Such a great game. Fantastic. I still loved every second of it that I played. I just couldn't get past that mission. So I can't even remember. It was like one of the last ones. It was just too much. And I convinced myself that I needed that big expensive gun. Then I'd be able to do it. Right. And then I was just chasing that massive, I think it was like quadruple 9 or something, Like I just remember this fractal of delaying the thing I was actually supposed to be doing, grinding, losing, and then trying again. Charles and Distance, love you two friends if you're still here. I grew up in an evangelical, spirit-filled, speaking in tongues, same, dancing for hours, not so much dancing, Baptist Christianity also, like God was beaten relentlessly with a large wooden paddle down the rod. Yeah, same. Like most of those. I don't know if ours are even. Hey Google, what does evangelical mean? Evangelical, of or according to the teaching of the gospel of the Christian religion. Okay, yeah, so very much so as well. We call that, like other people called us the happy clappies, and we were okay with that. Like, yeah, we're happy and clappy. And I guess that was better. Like some of my other friends went to the NG Kerk, which was organs. And then there was like a little altar, and then there was like a wide stage, like audio stage. That's all the information my brain retained. Like I'm getting brain damage. Like what am I listening to right now? And then the RGS character was like, and then and I'm like, okay, guess we're doing this right now. And I'm like holding on to the understanding that after all of this, it's gonna be coffee, and it's gonna be like things to eat, and I'm like most of my painful memories are like 11 years old. I'm like a hungry, deathly hungry 11-year-old, and I'm like, bro, whatever this is. And there was like usually the reward of eating out on Sundays as well, right? Which is like this weird paradox looking back on it of like, yeah, on Sundays you're not supposed to work because it's sin or whatever, and then on Sundays, with that narrative of we're not gonna work, we eat out, making other people work for us. And I brought up that question, I think once, and then we didn't eat out for like 3 weekends. My family was so angry at me, and I was like, this is some bullshit. Yeah, well, I was supposed to eat it, and I did. And he shut up the next time we started eating out again. I was like, dead silent. Brainwashing, reward systems, right? A conversation I had with my mom yesterday about that. Sugar is a drug, and we should use it with that in mind, right? I think you friends probably know I am a partaker of what we would consider drugs. I smoke weed. I've eaten mushrooms. I've taken LSD, DMT, right? All of these things considered drugs. And even though I have the bias, again, not trying to prove myself, that these are some of the better, more beneficial ones, they can still be concerned or considered something that can be potentially harmful if used incorrectly, as all things can be. If you put 15 spoons of coffee in a cup and then pound that and then do it again and then again, and you have heart palpitations and you potentially have a heart attack, that's not the coffee's fault. That is user error. And, miscommunication or misinformation or just not people understanding how these things are supposed to be used. And I feel it's the same thing with sugar, right? Like, it's okay if you have a little bit of sugar. It's okay if you have a little bit of weed at the end of your day. But if you're just pounding sugar, all day, every day, then it is going to be something that causes inflammation. And it's hard. Like, it's so hard. I was about to, like, the sugar industry is like, bruh, get this dude off of the stream right now. Like, we make Barry and Sadara selling sugar. That's the point, right? That's the thing that's so crazy about the society we're in right now. The point I was trying to make about the conditioning that happened in pretty much, I believe, all of us. Getting candy, like for you friends, probably Halloween was one of those. But we had this routine sometimes on Fridays when the weekend starts. My mom would allow us to get a piece of candy, right? Like one unit of candy, whatever that was. And it was something I thoroughly look forward to be able to get a piece of candy. And it created this narrative of excitement, of dopamine, right? Like this whole build up throughout the week to get this sweet thing. And then when I had enough money to buy my own sweet things, I lost my mind. I absolutely lost my mind. And I couldn't stop myself. I actually, I hurt myself financially ordering food. I believe, right? You're like, oh, what you paid for food? Yeah, overpaid for food because I would have probably, and this is my ego mind trying to find narratives to like shit up my old self, right? Sure, the fact that I was not in the best place mentally could have contributed to me not wanting to cook for myself, but I probably spent like what, $5,000, $6,000 in takeout, when I was in China. And I did like a year and a half, right? So is that too much? $500 a month. And it wasn't, with intention. It was just a thing that I could do because it was so easy. The fact that it's so easy for us right now. We have these devices that you can swipe your finger a few times and then literally manifest food into your home. The food knocks on your door. That is a radical shift. And it's okay to enjoy these things, but we should do so like it's a drug, right? The whole interface is a drug. The dealing system. Oh, there's deals. Oh, you're gonna save so much money if you buy more things. Yeah, you are hungry, aren't you? Yeah, buy more of the things, and you get deals. What a bargain! You're saving so much money, paying all of this money. And then the money you're paying, is they're still making money on the deals they're giving you, of course. And then it creates a enforcement, a fractal, something that can become unconscious. And of course, that's what they probably want from us. And I'm still fighting in myself with whether or not that's wrong. How I could potentially do it better, right? That's the other fractal that I'm kind of like scared to even consider. And then if we're going to have to do stuff like that, how can we do it in a way that makes people's lives better? Sending you love, Yosam, and Nasim so much. Thank you for joining me. Happiness, wealth, relationship, health, right? Those should be our primary goals. We need to make everyone happy, everyone wealthy, right? Abundant enough to have things, a place to live, a nice bed to sleep on. Healthy, so that they're not suffering. and then ultimately give them relationships that can make them happy. That's what all business is basically based upon, right? But we shouldn't do it at the expense of people's freedom. No. Autonomy, right? Sure, it makes people happy to order food, and it makes you wealthy offering that service. But does it keep the population healthy? And then from that extension, is it a good relationship to be perpetuating? And I know it's a hard one. I know it's a hard one. We all just have so much time. And I'm speaking mostly to myself because even though I don't have access to ordering food online, it's still hard for me to not eat the things that I know I'm not supposed to be eating. Right? Like that allure is still just as much there, even without the extension to get it whenever I want it. It's it's one of those things that I feel is like one of the biggest challenges we're going to have to overcome as humanity. Too long didn't read. Do what thou wilt, but do no harm. Yes. Yeah, manifest. Let me get back to it. Grew up evangelical. Performative religion is what that was, Gab. Your mom knows better. I'm sorry she put you through that. I'm sorry as well. For the record, though, all God really cares about is you not being a douche. Yeah, literally. Don't hurt other people. Don't take their stuff. Don't browbeat them with your religion because you know better. Yeah. Acknowledge that we all know nothing and try to learn from others. Be like, why do you believe what you believe? Hmm. Interesting. And sometimes you can share what you believe, but trying to at least start with wanting to listen to what other people believe first. Seeing them as teachers, even if they're going to teach you how not to believe things. I want to read a Sam book. I love the way you communicate and your thoughts are so calculated. They are. Every single time Sam speaks, my heart, has this listening, right? And it makes me so happy. Thank you, Jovan, for echoing that as well. Of course, you know that's true. Oh yeah, my brother and I used to get beat on the reg because of church reasons until my brother was a teenager. He was big enough to fight back and he didn't have to go to church anymore. Same. Right? I didn't have to fight back, but I could stand for myself and I was like, "No. I'm not going to go to church with you." And it was a relentless battle because it was like a shame thing for them as well. Like, "Oh, where's Estian? Where's your son?" "Oh yeah, he's at home." "Oh, why?" Because he doesn't want to be here. "Why?" "Because he doesn't believe in God." "Why?" "What's wrong with you? Where did you mess up?" Right? It's a weird fractal, right? And that's the stuff that's attached, right? Even though it made us who we are. I don't know if it was the same for you. When did you start going to church? JV, I wonder if it was the same story for you. Did you get your brother to fight for you as well, maybe? The spear in the other's heart is the spear in your own. You are he. There is no other wisdom and no other hope for us but that we grow wise. Yes. Like I feel I don't know if that's a quote by you, but that is like so beautifully the thing we've been trying to share. So I'm gonna save that one to the comments worth saying. The spear in the other's heart is the spear in your own. You are he. There is no other wisdom, and our only hope is to grow wise. A meow. A meow, 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 meow. A meow, meow, meow. Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Thank you, Sam, for sharing that beautiful wisdom. Yes, we are the Juan planet. Meow, meow. Can you stop, please, killing all of the animals? That was like a kind of no meow, right? Oh, skip it. Shine the message of home, eternally safe from fire and thieves and war for people who'd suffer through all of that. If you don't identify with that, that's okay. I agree. Believe in yourself enough to know that this moment is true, right? Doesn't have to be proven. You are. You actually are. Oh, sorry. Okay. Man, the way the light is coloring things behind right now, it's got an experience. A mouse. Meow, meow, meow. Skip, meow, meow. Mm. Do 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 do. Here we go. Jovan sang. I tried to fit into churches all my life. My parents never made me. I would go with my friends when I could and ask my parents to take me to church camps. I never didn't fit into those niches though. Yeah, those cliques started in preschool. I wasn't in them either. And I was a pastor's kid. Oh, extra brutal Sam. I always felt outcasted. I'm happy where it took me though. I see a lot of misuse of congregation, literally. It becomes just another power play, right? And that's the thing that we keep trying to get away from. Instead of trying to take power from people, we should be empowering people. The power over to power to. Power to everybody. Power to you. Yes, you. I'm touching your face. Okay. The quote is from the teaching of Surak, actually, a Vulcan prophet. Let me see which one. I feel like I keep skipping. The elementary has a religion class. They made macaroni art and had fun group projects. It was one of the few that wasn't allowed to participate because I wasn't baptized. Interact me as a kid. What? They're like, yeah, no, you're not. You're not Baptists. Can't make macaroni art, loser. Only we, the baptized, can make macaroni art. This is what heaven looks like. This is what you're missing out on. Your macaroni art. Get baptized. I'm terrified. I'm so sorry you have to go through that, Jovan. Love you. We're holding you. You're here with us. You are loved. Geez, baptism, serve from the churches. I don't see the purpose of it. Like, I only see the purpose of it if it's that case where you actually have to die before they resuscitate you. I only see purpose in that one, and that's a little bit extreme, right? That's a lot of trust, and sometimes you don't know that that's gonna happen. Technically, you're not supposed to, because otherwise you're gonna fight harder from the start. I went to all the church things: Wednesday, Awanas, youth group, summer Bible camps, winter weekend Bible camps, youth group, 4 mission trips. I liked doing the helping others things, but felt like an oddball out. Your heart might have been the only one that's actually pure. I never formed the close relationships I have until I sought it out for myself outside of my parents' instance. Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do, unfortunately. 11:11. Thank you for tuning me into it. Sharing the message of home eternally safe from fire. Thank you again, Sam, for sharing that. He didn't just speak to us the one time. Fire and thieves of wars with people who suffer through all of that. If you don't identify with that, that's okay. It's true. So that's so cruel. Rules like that make no sense. Joe, they probably knew your macaroni art would have been absolutely baller too. They were like, yeah, she's an artist. She's gonna like school all of us. She's not a Christian though. Maybe we should like not let her make art as well. A little bit mean. Kids though. Probably like the adults as well, trying to shame you. The whole shame thing as well, right? Ah, yeah, you are shameful. So shameful that you're not allowed to macaroni art with us. 11:11. The quote is from the teachings of Surak and Vulcan. The don't identify with it. This is what I agree with as well, right? Like all of these things that we suffer, we bring to ourselves. Isaac, here you are in this moment, right? Of course, as I'm talking about suffering, Isaac is like, I'm gonna take away some of that suffering, dude. Showing my beautiful face. Like, I'm seeing him like, womp, hair, Scott on his lap, ears fluttering. Yo. What's up? What's up? How are you? How is Jazzy? How are things at home, dear friend? It's nice seeing you, brother Bear. My childhood bestie is sending her two youngins to a Christian school. I told her she indoctrinated them, and she agrees, but saying that so much of our world references the Bible. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna indoctrinate them, but at least they're gonna be like clued in. They're gonna like understand what all of the bullshit means. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. I guess it partially makes sense to me, you know. Is it a kitty cat here too? Hey Katie, sitting here, some love. It's nice seeing you, friend. The kids want me there. They come back and tell me about it. It's like yours would have been awesome. I added a layer of longing to be accepted. Ah, yeah. At least you are. In that way, I feel you are accepted. The fact that the adults were probably the ones facilitating that kind of behavior kind of makes me sad though. What's happening, my people? We're doing well. We're embracing a weekend alone, this experience, and very specifically reminding ourselves that we don't have to do anything to prove ourselves. That your very existence, the fact that you exist, is proven, right? Why do you have to prove yourself? You exist. Here you are. So that's what's up. It's been downloading this whole time. Thank you, Kitty Cat, for joining us for it. There's nothing more frightening than a 5-year-old screaming at his baby sister that she's going to hell. Yeah, get bereft, Musquato. You're not eating meat today, oh. We're doing a great, kitty. It's been struggling. I just gave Scott a 5-minute belly rub and chilling at the office. Hey, friends, missing each of you. Loving seeing you here, now with us. You always have been. It's nice seeing your name, dude. Nothing more freaking terrifying than a kid screaming in general. Yeah. Or dead silence from kids as well. That's also just as terrifying, right? Why is there no sounds? Where's all of the shenanigans? Just got some Veggie Tales and re-enroll them in public schools. Veggie Tale. Oh, unlocking an old fractal that I forgot I had. There's no reason for all of that, yeah. Got so much D&D planning done last night. Tonight's plan is nice family night with our furry creatures and hobbies. That sounds so nice. Sending you love, dude. Have a good weekend. I'm getting the squatted out here. I don't have or want children, but with all the shootings here in the US, I wouldn't have them in public schools anyway. That's a little bit grim. Yes, I guess I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, right? But love is true. Still in the majority, of the cases. Yes, I'm gonna keep hoping so. Our cousin, when he was 3, he used to chill in your room if you were there, but behind the door and just stare at you smiling through the crack of the corner. Straight up Blair watching us. You couldn't get him to talk, just sometimes giggle. That's some like psychopath shit, dude. I would be so concerned. And then I'd probably accept. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm okay with this. Stare at me if you want to. I'm gonna just keep myself this. Oh goodness, there's only so many horrible things I can focus on at a time, cat. Straight up, Blair watching us again. I'm just saying the amount of shootings we've had in 2023 alone is scary. That's all. Yeah, kitty cat. It's so beautiful that that's the thing you come in with. We were just talking like scroll up a few. Like let's see how many lines of talk. Here we go. And Shan, The message of a home eternally safe from fire and thieves and war for a people who've suffered through all of that. If you don't identify with that, that's okay, right? Yeah, school shootings. Are you identifying with that? Is that you? Is that proof to you enough, Katie, that the world is evil? The world, right? This event externalized, and I'm not making less of the suffering that the people getting shot at or getting shot is experiencing. The amount of trauma that the kids along with them, right? That suffering is just as real. But is that proof that this place is just evil, right? You're letting go of a lot of proof that this world is love to come to a conclusion like that. At least that's what I believe. And that's the only thing we're saying, friend. Do 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 do. Uh huh. Straight up there. It's cool, but then you have to physically remove him when you want to go to bed. And then you're like, he's just waiting outside the door. Like, I'm trying to imagine what his neurobiology looks like for him to have the willpower to do that. Right? Like, he's gaining some level of satisfaction. What is he saying to himself? Right? What's the narrative that's going on inside his head? Maybe there's no narrative. Maybe that's even more terrifying. It's a 3-year-old. It's not like you don't have any options exactly. So don't talk about it, my bad. So the question is more, Katie, is you talking about it helping? Right? Are you, by talking about it, making the world a better place or a worse place? Like, I think of it from the perspective of power. Love you, Joy V. Thank you for sending love to our Nancy. We'll see you again soon. Thank you for sending some love with us. Right? Like, we should have conversations that can enlighten some sort of potential. We've talked about banning guns. There seems to be a massive divide for that not to happen. Right? Where are we going from here? Sure, keep our kids out of public schools, rob them of connection they could have with peers. Sure, our experiences might have not been good connecting with those peers. We wouldn't have the social skills we do if we didn't. Love is true. All of these things are not truths proving that we are evil, that this world is damned, but lessons for us to learn from. And from this lesson, learn how not to be, right? Nobody hears about, hopefully, nobody hears about school shootings, and that creates a deep, inspiration in them, or like hope and like, oh wow, that's so great. No, like that brings deep dread to people. And if we can kind of like recognize that these experiences make people sadder than happier, then it's enforcing us to stop doing things that make us sad. And sad people do these things, right? So it's like it's a weird self narrative, like a making a mistake, like a hitting yourself to realize you don't like hitting yourself. At least if I'm compartmentalizing so I can suffer less thinking about it. This world is love, where I believe there would be no experience at all, Joy Vive, if not for love, right? So even putting your own finger in your eye and feeling the discomfort of that, that is still love, because you are so loved that you will be allowed to experience that if you wish to. He's a super cool kid. I was new to him, and he's incredibly observant. Maybe he was just absorbing your fractal. He's grown up a lot, and he will spend like hours flipping rocks, looking for bugs. One time he looked at me and asked about dying, and he had a super deep and meaningful and mindful conversation. I was blown away. Dude, that's beautiful. Having a conversation with a kid about dying. I never actually thought about that. I can't say I have ever talked to a kid about dying. I don't know if I should want to. What's up, kid? Ever thought about dying? Yeah, I love that fractal though. Thank you for sharing it with me. I was adding on to the conversation about educating kids, especially in the US. I feel bad now. No, kitty cat. No, we're not hating on you. You're helping us, right? Establish. You're helping us, right? Like I feel you. You're not you're not trying to be chased away. I think it's just important to tag the bad things, take the take the bad things in life, do good things, so we can work against them, not just ignore them. That's all. And I feel I just got shut down. I feel you, Kenny. But bad? I don't feel bad for expressing yourself. You're allowed to have opinions and agency in your life. This is true as well, right? The only thing I'm saying, Kit Kat, and I believe this, I do, is that your words have power. The things you think about have power. A lot. If everybody is super, nobody is, right? And a lot of us don't know how to use our superpowers. Your superpower is your ability to feel, right? So, how are you using your superpower? Are you using your superpower of feeling to make yourself feel good about yourself? And I'm very much speaking to myself because with this whole narrative of feeling not considered by my family, I was like making myself feel like shit. Why? Because I'm convinced I'm separate. No, stop doing that. Stop hitting yourself. Right? Zano, we are all the gods. Yes. Right? Treat yourself as such. Love yourself. Allow yourself to experience the most beautiful experience that God can experience by speaking it into existence. Like, yeah, school shootings are happening, but the amount of school shootings that are happening will actively decrease. And I'm sending love to all of the families, right? That feels like you're still acknowledging this painful point while at the same time giving energy, not to fighting it, but believing intrinsically that this problem will go away, that it's a symptom of our society, of people feeling alienated, locked in echo chambers of self manipulation. And we're maturing with the internet as a species experiencing these things. We should just continue manifesting the fractals we want to see by speaking it. Speaking it, thinking it, speaking it, doing it, right? You had to think about the school shootings before you could speak it, with the words as well. And our bodies doesn't know the difference between thinking and actually experiencing, right? So I believe seriously, and I can feel it in my body. Talking about stuff like this creates cortisol in me. It causes a stress response. Like I feel stressed, like I'm in danger, or other people are in danger, and I want to fix the danger, right? But I'm in this moment. I am safe, and I'm creating this experience. So I have to choose. I have to take responsibility for what experience I'm going to create. And I'm not trying to tell you, to not share the way you do. There's a little bird watching me. I'm just echoing this as a point because that's what I'm supposed to do, right? That's what I'm reminding myself of as well. You're helping, Katie. You're contributing. You're co-creating. We're not trying to send you away. Then he was 5, and I had to take it from the perspective of asking him what he thinks from observations. He came to similar conclusion to how I feel. He wasn't afraid of it at all. He came from the perspective of everything around us, the trees and the animals, all come from each other in different ways. So when our body dies, we just become in turn the things that follow. Yo, what a depth, dude. 5 years old. That's what I believe, dude. They understand these things so intrinsically. And then we grow up and the ego consolidates and we start to believe things about ourselves. And then those things that we believe about ourselves become our own little echo chamber, the thing we lock ourselves in, away from everything else. Agree. I just don't think it's safe for us to race to only focus on the bliss. Ananda. 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 Katie. Ananda. Bliss, bliss, bliss. Anyway, right? That is the experience you're here to have. That is the experience that is your highest potential. And I believe in bringing that highest potential into this realm, there is more of it. You bringing bliss means there's more bliss, literally. Kitty cat, don't worry, friend. Super safe space to share things. Every word you bring is valuable and worthwhile. Again, thank you for co-creating. Right? And like this is something that you friends are gonna have to get used to. If you say something that I don't agree with, then I would encourage you to like say something to me too. It's like, yeah, Mel, I don't actually agree with this point that you made. And then we can reflect on that, right? Me disagreeing with you can give you more space to reflect as well. You're feeling something right now, right? Maybe that feeling, that ego is trying to convince you that you are separate. Oh, I feel this thing and want to share this thing. This space feels this thing and doesn't want to share this thing. I'm so separate. Us versus them mentality, right? Or you can realize we're one. And this is a co-creation. And you feeling one thing, saying one thing can allow me to feel one thing, say one thing. And it's a loop. And we're participating. And it's not always necessarily going to be fun. Love isn't always fun. Love shows you how much you can endure. How much can you endure? That is love. Deep love, true love. Can I be Poseidon? Actually, never mind. Greek mythology is messed up. Yeah, that's a lot of Yasi Bobasi going on right there. I'm a Cancer. I'd like to be the crab guy from the fairy tale. I think I was misunderstood. No, of course not. Anyway, talk to you later, everyone. Love you, kitty cat. There's always flinging their private parts out in the sun. No safe-ish space. I get flamed for my unpopular opinions. I must say them anyway. Yes, exactly, right. And I know that sometimes disagreeing with you might create a response of you being like, "Fuck you, Mel," and I'm okay with you fucking me. I'm so sorry, like my terminology. I'm okay with you feeling that way if it means there is an experience, there is growth, there is melting, right? I'm gonna try and melt you. This story, this fractal that you've convinced yourself of. My goal is to melt it, to get you back to remembering you are the creator of this very moment, without all of the layers. Even if I touch on pain points inside of you, realize you're the one creating this very moment. I'm constantly misunderstood. Have a good day. And then correct me. Correct me if I'm misunderstood, right? I remember I'm running multiple fractals at the same time. All of you friends are having conversations. I'm trying to reply to them. And then I'm having a conversation in reply to the things you're saying. And then things come up in the middle of a conversation, even though you didn't say it in that context. And I just have to go with the information I get. This is a limited medium of information exchange. This I agree with. I'm trying my best. I'm trying. I'm a flawed human being. I also make mistakes. I also misunderstand. Tell me. Tell me. Be like, yeah. I am so. Or at least be like, I get what you're saying, Mel. Or like, so we can move past it. I'm stupid. Help me. Help me, please. I need help. I need help. I'm constantly misunderstood. Yeah, you still show up, Joy Vive. You don't run away. You're like, here you are, right? You don't have to prove anything. You know, you don't have to prove anything, Joy Vive. You are beautifully and wholly loved, even if we disagree with one another. We don't have to agree about everything, but we also don't have to be scared of being disagreed with, right? It's okay to get called out because I call myself out. I feel like maybe like I'm getting stoic wisdom coming up in my mind. Like be hard on yourself and be soft with others. I'm significantly harder on myself. So I believe I'm soft when I'm telling you friends. Try and say things that you believe, right? It's okay to tell me about, a painful experience, but what do you want to believe about that experience? Like for me, and I'm a hypocrite, of course, right? Because I made a mistake myself today, where I was telling myself the story of separation because I didn't feel considered by my family, right? A self-created experience that I was telling myself inside my head. That's where it starts, right? I wasn't telling other people about how sad I am. It was inside of me first. And then I was like feeling something about that, right? And none of those things were true. None of those things were true. Right? Sure, the events might have been true, but the story I was telling myself about the events weren't. I was proving to myself a point that I didn't want to believe. And I don't know why we do that, but I believe that it is destructive. And because I love you as much as I love myself, and as I'm willing to tell myself to stop doing it, I love you in the same capacity. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that comes across like I misunderstand sometimes. I really am sorry for that. Safe space. We spotted the kitty. Did you just say I'm getting flamed to remember that I'm creating my experience? Because that's some serious victim blaming melting. No, it's not exactly what I was saying. mm, like you see now like again, right? You created that experience. Like, are you using my words to prove to yourself something? And now I'm trying to use your words to prove to myself that the thing that you're saying could be true, right? Because I have to consider your perspective as well. But then I ask myself, why do you want to hold that perspective, right? It's not victim blaming. None of us are victims, right? We're not trying to victimize each other by calling out belief systems that aren't beneficial. Like one of the belief systems that we call out in you, Joy Vive, and you can consider it flaming, or you can just consider it a manifesting to what we believe is your highest potential. Is the whole creativity topic, right? Believing that you are not creative, right? And then we're like, of course you're creative, Joy Vive. And then it can feel like we're flaming you because we don't believe that, right? It's not something that we believe. We hear you say it, but we don't want to believe that about you because we see you as beautifully creative. The way you show up in the world is creative, right? Like I've never met a Joy Vive in my whole life. In my whole ass life, I've never met one Joy Vive. Well, I've met the Joy Vive that you are. I've met one Joy Vive, one of a kind, right? Like there's millions and millions of diamonds. There's millions and millions of bars of gold. There's only one Joy Vive, right? Creatively created from this infinity. And everything that you've been and everything you will be is beautifully you, creative, right? Running one day a cat cemetery. Isn't that creative in your mind? I'm seeing it as something that would be beautiful, your style, right? What you would like from that perspective of creativity. So even though we're disagreeing with you, it shouldn't be considered getting flamed. It should be considered a perspective that is being shared, right? Yeah, maybe you hold this perspective. Have you considered this perspective? Not saying that your perspective is incorrect, but maybe taking more looks at this same topic, we can gain a broader perspective, right? You can find yourself somewhere in the middle. I'm a victim of love. Yeah, Susanna, get it. I'm just poking at you, and I will. If you poke me, you know. You do know. Meld, have you seen Rob Van Vieren's character Namaste Bay? Hilarious. Hey Google, Rob Van Vieren, Namaste Bay. Not getting anything right now. Send me a link. That sounds hilarious. Rob Van Vieren sounds like a South African surname as well, so maybe he is Namaste Bay. Yeah, like Namaste is supposed to is like it's a very sacred word technically, right? It's supposed to mean the deepest. Like, hey Google, let's actually get the proper. Hey Google, what is the meaning of Namaste? Hey Google, what is the meaning of Namaste? Namaste, a respectful greeting. Nah, another term for nah. Basically, the deepest part of me or the divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you, I believe. Greetings to you, or literally means greetings to you. There we go. Namaste mostly occurs as a salutations to a divinity, but the uses of the meaning has evolved. Yeah, like namaste asleep. Right? Like it's become one of those things that we've, like memified to death, unfortunately. And I'm not surprised that Namaste Bay is now a thing. I'm about the message, but about how the message was received. I think I missed some. People sometimes people say things. Excuse me. Sometimes people say things because they're ignorant. Sometimes people say things to be mean. In both cases, the other party is right to be offended because it's not about the speaker's intent, but about how the message was received. Do you friends feel like I'm trying to hurt you? Like maybe again, right? Like I try to communicate from a place of love. But that's like I'm really considering right now. Like if I've ever hurt any of you friends by saying something, I'm sorry. I really am. But at the same time, I would die if I had to feel all of that pain, right? So I'm feeling Joy Vive like victim blaming, but at the same time, like if I had to blame myself, then I would just be quiet. Because, like, for instance, and I was thinking about this recently, in certain countries, if people chose to believe and echo the things that I choose to say on these streams sometimes, the understanding that we are all God, that might get them actually killed in some countries, right? So I'm painfully aware of that. I'm painfully aware of that. But I also believe that we have the capacity to be wise, right? And again, I can't save everyone in the world. We have to be willing to save ourselves. We have to be wise enough to know our circumstances and how to survive, to try and bring more love into the fractal we're in right now. Sam beautifully shared, I believe, right? It's okay to participate in a broken world while working to fix it. That one has stayed with me. That's what we're trying to encourage, right? Just because school shootings are a thing doesn't mean you're powerless to change that, right? Reaching out to one person could literally save school shooting victims, and that's what we're trying to encourage. At least I feel like I'm a broken record at this point. He is South African. His characters is a parody of caricature of a new age yogi. Cracked up every time I see his reels on Instagram. Makes me happy to know that people are at least making light of these experiences. I feel like that's what we need right now, right? Like the spiritual journey has been so serious for a lot of people. It becomes a whole new way to separate ourselves, right? You're not spiritual. You haven't been meditating for 55 hours today. Gesundheit, thank you. No, that's just my experience as a performer and writer. I feel you. I feel you, Sam. I do. I do consider it, right? And I am very careful with the things I choose to say because I want them to be true, right? I do try to consider that. And it is something I have to keep reminding myself of. So I thank you, friends, for reminding me too. Let's pull a card, shall we? Starting. Let's see. The only thing that hurts is that you're too far away. If you were my neighbor, that would be so dope. My neighbors suck. We run around and paint the ghetto with love. That sounds so beautiful, Susanna. Yeah. Like, at the same time, I envision Susanna's neighbors changing, becoming beautifully synchronized people that anybody would want to hang out with. And then Susanna is going to want to hang out with her new cool neighbors. This card. Just as the sun sets. Card time? Yeah. It's card time, friends. Bow. Pulled it upside down. Swallow the sun. Look at them swallows. Look at them sun. Susanna, if you were my neighbor, I'd talk to you unlike my actual neighbor, whom I avoid like the plague. Maybe your actual neighbors are cool people as well. But because you avoid them like the plague, you just never know. Maybe you're like, nah, bro, I've talked to these people. I don't want to touch them with a stick. And that's also fair. I understand. Dreams and visions. Dreams and visions. Isn't there some quote about close neighbors breeding contempt? I wouldn't be surprised. Sounds like some more separation. Close neighbors breeds contempt. It's like, fuck this guy. Why is his hedge so much better than mine? I guess. Lol, they're too toxic. They become loving and aware, but not in my life. They may become loving and aware, but not in my lifetime. Here's hoping. Here's dreaming, envisioning. The sun is celebrated throughout the world as a giver of life, and in some cultures, as a god. Both the ancient Greeks and Romans worshipped one or more solar deities, and in Hindu literature, the sun is mentioned as one of the visible forms of God that one can see every day. Aztec, Incan, and Egyptian traditions all held the sun in godly accord. Whatever your spiritual beliefs, it is clear that our sun represents a psychological principle that transcends time and place. The vibrant geometry of the sun card invites you to explore its symbolism and its ability to illuminate and guide you. Swallow, swoop, and play in the solar portal, encouraging you to see a lighthearted reflection of your dreams and visions. Lighthearted, yeah. Dreams, whether in sleep or musings of reverie, will offer clues to your internal process. Visions direct your path and offer a sense of purpose, vitality, and life force, right? Seeing things, having thoughts. What message have your dreams offered lately? Having a hard time walking up a mountain, really like struggling, having a hard time walking up a mountain. And things that I dearly cherish breaking is the dream that I had recently. So I'm taking that to heart. That I can still be lovingly. And I was, right? Like there was this experience of another person just like casually walking up the mountain next to me. And he was like watching me like stepping one leg forward, and then like reversing and then walking backwards, right? And then the finding that one of my beloved objects fell out of my pocket was on the ground. Like I fell down the mountain a little bit and had to walk back up. Was broken on the ground when I got there again. Broke my heart even more. And I could still have a loving conversation with this person, kind of making fun of me for having a hard time climbing up this mountain. What progress are you making towards the realization of your vision? Meditate with this card and consider these questions. Do not be hard on yourself if you are not happy with your progress. Realize that when you push too hard, you may actually be resisting the thing that you most desire. Relax with your positive intentions as you bring your finest dreams and visions into this reality. The reverse meaning goes, the sky seems clouded, yet you may find a place of clarity and vision within. Right? The sun set. No more sun for me, and yet light remains. Vision and clarity inside every single one of us. A meow, a skimmer, a mouse. He's reading the meaning of the sacred geometry card he just pulled, Naren. I was. Mel, didn't expect you to be streaming at this hour. Yeah, long one. I love you, friends. I just entered now when you said Hindu. What is it that you're reading? Sacred Geometry cards. For the Visionary Path by Francine Hart. Beautiful creator. Beautiful creation. Cool fractal to experience. Visions and dreams for today. Thank you, dear friends, for spending some time with me. The light in you remains. The light is literally still seen by you, and yet it's set for me. Thank you for choosing to show up lovingly in the way that you do, friend. I'll see you again soon. Sorry for tuning out as you're tuning in, Naren. It's nice to have you here, friends. Wow. Oh, it was nice having all of you friends here. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a few more loving messages because I know they're still probably coming. Taking a breath with you, friends. We are enough. You don't have to prove yourself. Your existence is proof. There we go. Chavan saying, I agree. Any emphasis with those who are hurt by words truly, that hurt sucks. I can give so many examples of how I felt outcasted, unaccepted, and the need to prove myself. But when being faced with the perspective that I am the source of what I perceive and experience, I allowed myself to take responsibility for how I come to understand someone's projection. We don't necessarily feel better, we just get better at feeling. You see, I knew I didn't have to just reach out and end the stream. Yes, Jovan, I can't say anything to top that. I love you so much. No, no, no. Everything perfectly synchronized. You don't have to prove yourself by writing faster. You're perfect. Shan saying thank you so much. Have the most beautiful day, everyone. I love you all so very super dearest, tremendously dearly. Oh, Valty and all of you absolutely beautifully gorgeous friends. Know you. Love you so much. Thank you, Shan, for joining us too. That would probably be insulting if I were said by someone I care about. Is my best. Mm. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Tomorrow. Wow.